3:30 in the morning, and I'm sitting in my kitchen like some kind of insomniac detective, nursing cold coffee and wondering when my life turned into a bad country song. The house creaks around me, old bones settling, just like mine after 15 years of swinging hammers and hauling lumber. Eddie Malloy, contractor extraordinaire, reduced to playing midnight solitaire because his wife thinks he's too stupid to notice she's been coming home smelling like another man's cologne. The front door clicks open. Soft footsteps in the hallway. Jessica thinks she's being sneaky, but after 18 years of marriage, I know every sound she makes. Her heels hit the hardwood in that particular rhythm she uses when she's trying not to wake me. The guilty wife tiptoe. "Working late again?" I call out, not bothering to turn around. She freezes. I can feel her panic from here, thick as morning fog off the harbor. "Eddie, what are you doing up?" "Couldn't sleep. You know how it is. When the bed's empty, sometimes a man's mind starts wandering." She appears in the doorway, all 5'6" of polished perfection. Even at this ungodly hour, Jessica looks like she stepped out of some corporate magazine. Her auburn hair still perfectly styled, makeup touched up. That expensive perfume I never bought her, hanging around her like evidence. The Morrison account ran late. You know how demanding clients can be. Sure do. Especially the kind that leave hickeys. Her hand flies to her neck, fingers covering the purple mark she thought concealer would hide. In the kitchen light, it looks like a neon sign advertising her guilt. That's not... I bumped into a cabinet at the office. The corner caught me weird. Must have been some cabinet, shaped like a mouth, was it? The color drains from her face, but Jessica's always been quick on her feet. That's what made her such a good HR headhunter, the ability to spin BS into gold. "You're being ridiculous, Eddie. I'm tired. We'll talk in the morning." She turns to leave, but her phone buzzes on the counter where she dropped it. The screen lights up with a text preview. "Duke, can't stop thinking about tonight. When can I taste you again?" We both stare at it. The silence stretches like a guitar string about to snap. "Well, I say, picking up the phone. Looks like Duke's got quite the appetite." Jessica lunges for it, but I'm faster. 18 years of construction work keeps a man's reflexes sharp. "Give me that. Easy there, Tiger. Just want to see what kind of business you've been conducting." I scroll through the messages, each one a knife twist in my gut. But funny thing about getting stabbed, after the first few cuts, you start to go numb. Interesting client, this Duke fellow. Very hands-on approach to professional relationships. "Eddie, please, meet me at the lake house. Bring that thing you do with your tongue." Now that's what I call customer service. She's crying now, mascara running down her cheeks like black rain. But I've seen Jessica cry before, usually when she wants something. This feels different. This feels like getting caught. "How long?" I ask. "It's not what you think." "How long, Jess?" 6 months. 6 months. Half a year of coming home to kiss lips that had been wrapped around another man. Half a year of working late and client dinners and me making excuses for why my wife seemed like a stranger in our own bed. "Who is he?" "Derek Duvall. He's a consultant. Ex-military." "Of course he is." "Let me guess. Muscles like a Greek god. Drives a truck that costs more than I make in a year. Calls himself the Duke, unironically." Her silence is answer enough. I set the phone down carefully like it might explode. Maybe it already has. "I'm sorry, Eddie. I never meant for this to happen." But it did happen. For 6 months it happened. "We can work through this. Marriage counseling, whatever you want. I'll end it with Derek." "Will you?" "Because these messages suggest Duke's expecting to see you tomorrow night. Something about a special surprise he's got planned." She closes her eyes. "I was going to tell you." "When? After you two ran off into the sunset? After you cleaned out our joint account? Or were you planning to just disappear one day and leave me wondering what the hell happened to my life?" "It's not like that." "Then what's it like, Jess? Explain it to me like I'm one of those dumb construction workers you're always apologizing for at your fancy office parties." That hits home. Her face flushes red. "I never said you were dumb. You didn't have to. Every time someone asks what your husband does, you get that look, like you're embarrassed, like you settled for less than you deserved." That's not true, isn't it? When's the last time you introduced me to your friends without mentioning that I work with my hands like it's some kind of disability? She has no answer for that. I stand up, bones creaking like the old house around us. I'm going to bed. You can sleep in the guest room. We'll figure out the rest tomorrow. Eddie, tomorrow, Jess. I need to think. But as I climb the stairs to our bedroom, my bedroom now, I guess, I'm not thinking about tomorrow. I'm thinking about Derek Duvall and his lake house and his muscles and his truck. I'm thinking about 6 months of lies and the way my wife's friends probably snicker behind my back about poor Eddie the contractor who doesn't know his wife's getting serviced by a real man. Most of all, I'm thinking about how Jessica always underestimated me. How everyone does. That's going to be their first mistake. Morning comes too early and not early enough. I'm up at 5:30, same as always, but instead of making coffee for 2, I'm making it for 1. Jessica's car is gone, probably slunk off to her sister's place to practice her victim routine. Barney Kowalski shows up at 6 sharp, same as he has every morning for the past 3 years. Barney's my right-hand man, a stocky Polish guy with hands like sledgehammers and a criminal record that would make your grandmother clutch her pearls. But he's loyal as a junkyard dog and twice as mean when crossed. Boss looks like hell, he says, helping himself to coffee. The missus giving you trouble? You could say that. I fill him in on the night's discoveries. Barney listens without interrupting, occasionally grunting or shaking his head. When I finish, he's quiet for a long moment. So what's the play? Information first. Can't fight an enemy you don't understand. I know a guy who knows a guy. Could get us everything on this Derek character by lunch. Legal stuff only, Barn. I'm not looking to go to prison over this. Course not, boss. Just public records, social media, that kind of thing. Amazing what people put online these days. By noon, Barney's back with a folder thick as a phone book. Derek Duvall, age 42, divorced twice, currently renting a lake house on the expensive side of town, drives a black F-150 Raptor, works as a security consultant for various companies, which means he gets paid to look intimidating in expensive suits. Guy's got a type, Barney says, flipping through printouts. Both ex-wives were married when he met them. Seems to enjoy the challenge. What else? Gym rat. Posts workout videos on Instagram like he's training for the Olympics. Real meathead stuff, lots of flexing, lots of protein shake selfies. Anything useful? Maybe. He's got a standing reservation at Mickey's bar every Friday night. Likes to hold court, buy drinks for whoever will listen to his war stories. Mickey's bar. I know it well. Used to go there with Jessica back when we were happy. Or when I thought we were happy. There's more, Barney continues. Your wife ain't his first conquest in town. Remember Linda Patterson? Married to that accountant, Tom? Word is Duke worked his magic on her last year before moving on to greener pastures. Linda Patterson. I remember her from the 4th of July barbecue, hanging all over some muscle-bound guy, while her husband looked like he wanted to crawl into a hole. That must have been Derek. How many others? At least 3 that I can confirm. Guy's like a tornado, leaves a trail of broken marriages and doesn't look back. My phone buzzes. Text from Jessica. Can we talk? I'm at Qley's. Qley Martinez, Jessica's best friend and partner in crime. If there's gossip to be spread or drama to be stirred, Qley's in the middle of it. She runs the town's most popular Instagram account, documenting every scandal and social event like she's reporting for CNN. Tell you what, Barn, take the afternoon off. I've got some reconnaissance to do. Want backup? Not yet, but stick close to your phone. I drive over to Qley's house, a perfectly manicured suburban nightmare with more lawn ornaments than a miniature golf course. Jessica's Honda is in the driveway next to Qley's white BMW, the one she bought with her divorce settlement after catching her ex-husband with his secretary. Through the window, I can see them on the couch, tissues scattered around like confetti. The grieving wife and her supportive friend, no doubt crafting the narrative that'll make Jessica the victim in all this. I don't go in. Instead, I park down the street and wait. 20 minutes later, a black F-150 Raptor pulls up. Derek Duvall climbs out, and I get my first good look at the man who's been sleeping with my wife. He's exactly what I expected. 6'2", shoulders like a linebacker, the kind of tan that comes from gym sessions under UV lights. He's wearing a tight black t-shirt that shows off biceps the size of Christmas hams and jeans that probably cost more than my truck payment. He walks up to Qley's door like he owns the place. Through the window, I watch Jessica jump up and run into his arms. They kiss like teenagers, all tongues and groping hands, while Qley watches with the hungry expression of someone who lives vicariously through other people's drama. I take pictures, lots of them. Derek stays for an hour. When he leaves, Jessica goes with him. They climb into his truck, her hand on his thigh, his hand on her A. More pictures. I follow them to the lake house, a sprawling modern monstrosity that screams compensation for something. They disappear inside, and I settle in to wait again. This is what 18 years of marriage gets you. Sitting in your truck, watching your wife screw another man through expensive windows, documenting your own humiliation one photograph at a time. But here's the thing about humiliation. It's only temporary. Revenge, done right, lasts forever. My phone rings. It's Mrs. Keene, the 70-year-old busybody who lives next door and considers neighborhood surveillance her civic duty. Eddie, dear, I hope you don't mind me calling. Not at all, Mrs. Keene. What can I do for you? Well, it's about Jessica. I've been seeing that man with the black truck coming around when you're at work. I wasn't sure if I should say anything, but with him there again today, you did the right thing calling me. I just think a wife should be more careful about appearances, you know? People talk. Yes, ma'am, they certainly do. After I hang up, I sit in the gathering dusk and think about appearances, about how Jessica's always been so concerned with what people think, so careful to maintain her image as the perfect wife with the perfect life. That concern is going to be her downfall. Because if there's one thing I've learned in 18 years of construction work, it's that the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And the more perfect someone pretends to be, the more spectacular their collapse when the truth comes out. Jessica wants to play games? Fine, but she's about to learn that the dumb contractor she married has been paying attention all these years. And I've gotten very good at building things. Time to build her a nightmare. Friday night at Mickey's bar, and Derek Duval is holding court like he's some kind of conquering hero. He's got a corner booth surrounded by admirers, mostly younger guys who probably think muscles equal wisdom, and a few women who eye him like he's dessert. I'm at the bar, nursing a beer and listening to him tell war stories that sound suspiciously like scenes from action movies. Barney's at a table nearby, playing pool and keeping an ear open. So there I was in the Middle East, Derek's saying, surrounded by insurgents, nothing but my sidearm and my training. I've heard this story before. It was the plot of a Steven Seagal movie from the 90s. But his audience is eating it up, especially the blonde in the low-cut top who keeps touching his arm and giggling at everything he says. You believe this guy? The bartender mutters, refilling my beer. Been coming in here for months. Same stories every time. Takes all kinds, I say. Derek's voice carries across the room. The thing about married women is they appreciate a real man. Someone who knows how to take charge, you know? These suburban husbands, they get soft. Stop appreciating what they've got. Several people laugh. I grip my beer bottle a little tighter. Like this one I'm seeing now, he continues. Married to some construction worker. Nice enough guy, I'm sure, but no fire, no passion. She tells me he hasn't touched her in months. That's a lie. We made love just 2 weeks ago. Or at least I thought we did. Maybe for Jessica it was just going through the motions. What's her name? The blonde asks. Jessica. Beautiful woman. Works in HR. Way too good for the life she's living. Isn't that cheating? Someone asks. Derek shrugs. I'm not married, and if her husband can't keep her satisfied, that's on him. More laughter. I finish my beer and signal for another. Besides, Derek continues, it's not like it's serious. I mean, what would I want with a married woman long term? But for now, she's educational. The way he says it, like Jessica's some kind of training exercise, makes my vision go red around the edges. Educational how? The blonde presses. Let's just say married women are grateful for attention. Very grateful. They'll do things their husbands never dreamed of asking for. The table erupts in crude laughter. I set my beer down carefully and turn around. Excuse me, I say, walking over to their table. Derek, right? He looks up, annoyed at the interruption. Yeah, do I know you? Eddie Malloy. I think we have a mutual friend. Recognition dawns in his eyes, followed quickly by amusement. Well, the construction worker. That's right. Mind if I sit? Actually, we're kind of in the middle of something here. I bet you are. Sounds like you were telling these folks about your girlfriend, Jessica. The table goes quiet. Derek's jaw tightens, but he's still smiling. The kind of smile a shark gives right before it bites. She's not my girlfriend. Just a friend with benefits. Benefits, that's one way to put it. Look, pal, I don't want any trouble. But if you can't keep your wife happy, that's not my problem. You're right. It's not your problem. It's your opportunity, isn't it? Derek stands up, and suddenly I'm looking up at 6 feet of muscle and testosterone. The bar goes quiet around us. You got something to say? Say it. Just wondering what kind of man goes after married women. Seems like the kind of thing a coward would do. His face flushes red. What did you just call me? I called you a coward. Someone who can't compete with single women, so he goes after the ones who are already tied down. Like shooting fish in a barrel. You want to take this outside? Not particularly. I just wanted to meet the man who's been screwing my wife, see what all the fuss was about. Derek's fist comes at me like a freight train. I don't try to dodge it, just let it connect with my jaw, sending me sprawling across the floor. Pain explodes through my skull, but I don't fight back. Eddie! Barney jumps up from his pool game, but I wave him off. It's fine, Barn. Just a misunderstanding. Derek's standing over me, fists clenched, breathing hard. Stay away from me, old man. And stay away from Jessica. She's made her choice. Has she? Funny, she was crying about it just yesterday. She'll get over it. They always do. I get to my feet, wiping the redness from my split lip. You're probably right. Well, it was nice meeting you, Derek. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other around. Not if you're smart. I smile at him, the kind of smile I give contractors who try to shortchange me on materials. Oh, I'm smarter than I look. You'd be surprised. I walk out of the bar with as much dignity as I can muster, Barney trailing behind me. Boss, what the hell was that about? You could have taken that guy, probably. But then what? I'd be the violent husband who attacked his wife's lover. Poor Jessica would have no choice but to run to Derek for protection. So what's the play? Patience, Barn. And documentation. I pull out my phone and check the video I recorded while Derek was bragging about his conquests. Crystal clear audio of him calling Jessica educational, talking about grateful married women, describing her like she's a piece of meat he's sampling. You got all that? Every word. Amazing what people say when they think they're among friends. What are you going to do with it? Nothing yet. But Derek just made a big mistake. He thinks I'm some dumb construction worker who'll either slink away defeated or come at him with my fists. He doesn't realize there's a third option, which is destroy his reputation the same way he's destroying my marriage, but slowly, methodically, like any good construction project. My phone buzzes with a text from Jessica. Derek told me what happened at the bar. This has to stop, Eddie. I'm filing for divorce. I text back. Your choice. But you might want to ask Derek about his previous conquests. Ask Linda Patterson's ex-husband how it worked out for him. 3 dots appear, then disappear. No response. I drive home to my empty house and my empty bed, but for the first time in days, I'm smiling. Derek thinks he won tonight. He got to play the alpha male, show off for his audience, put the betrayed husband in his place. But what he really did was give me everything I need to destroy him. And the best part? He'll never see it coming. 2 weeks later, and the whole town's talking about the 4th of July parade. It's the biggest event of the year in our little corner of Maine. Floats, marching bands, local businesses showing off, and enough small-town politics to make Washington look simple. I'm volunteering with the construction crew, helping set up the reviewing stand and making sure the barriers are secure. It's good, honest work, and it puts me right in the middle of everything. Jessica's there too, of course. She's on the organizing committee, clipboard in hand, directing traffic like she's running the Pentagon. Derek's with her, playing the supportive boyfriend role to the hilt. He's wearing a tight patriotic t-shirt and aviator sunglasses, looking like a recruitment poster for the National Guard. Qley's following them around with her phone, documenting everything for her Instagram followers. The happy couple, living their best life, no mention of the broken marriage left in their wake. You see them? Barney asks, nodding toward Jessica and Derek. Hard to miss. Want me to accidentally spill something on his pretty shirt? Not yet. Let them enjoy themselves. The parade starts at noon. I'm stationed near the reviewing stand, officially to handle any safety issues, but really to watch the show. Derek and Jessica have prime seats, playing the part of the perfect couple for anyone with a camera. About halfway through the parade, the high school marching band comes by, followed by the local fire department, and then the float from Morrison Construction, my biggest competitor in town. Big Jim Morrison waves from the driver's seat, his crew throwing candy to the kids. That's when I see my opportunity. Barney, I call out, need you to help me with something. We walk over to where the parade route makes a sharp turn. There's a confetti cannon mounted on one of the floats, loaded with red, white, and blue streamers for the big finale. Boss, what are you thinking? Remember that time you accidentally triggered the pyrotechnics at the county fair? That was an accident. I know. But you remember how the trigger mechanism worked? Barney grins. Yeah, I remember. Think you could accidentally trigger this cannon when Derek walks by? Might be tricky. Lot of variables. I have faith in your abilities. Derek and Jessica are making their way through the crowd, shaking hands and playing politics. Derek's in his element, all smiles and firm handshakes. The kind of guy who runs for town council and wins on personality alone. They're about 20 feet from the confetti cannon when Barney makes his move. He stumbles, purely by accident, of course, and catches himself on the cannon's trigger mechanism. Boom! The cannon fires directly at Derek, hitting him square in the chest with a blast of confetti, streamers, and compressed air. The force knocks him backward into the crowd, arms windmilling as he tries to keep his balance. He doesn't. Derek goes down hard, landing in the pile of horse manure left by the mounted police unit that passed by 20 minutes earlier. The crowd gasps, then starts laughing as the town's newest alpha male emerges covered in confetti and horse crap. Qley's getting it all on video, of course. Her phone's trained on Derek as he struggles to his feet, dignity nowhere to be found. Oh my God, Derek! Jessica rushes to help him, but he waves her off, face red with embarrassment and rage. I'm fine, he snarls, but he's clearly not fine. His patriotic t-shirt is ruined, his aviator sunglasses are cracked, and there's horse manure in his hair. Sir, are you hurt? I jog over, playing the concerned citizen. That was a terrible accident. Derek glares at me, suspicion in his eyes. Accident? Absolutely. Equipment malfunction. These old cannons can be unpredictable. Eddie's right, Barney chimes in. I was just checking the safety mechanism when it went off. Could have happened to anyone. Derek's not buying it, but what can he say? That the local contractor somehow orchestrated his humiliation? It sounds paranoid even to him. We should get you cleaned up, Jessica says, trying to salvage the situation. I'm fine, Derek repeats, but his voice cracks slightly. The crowd's still laughing, phone's still recording. His moment of small-town glory has turned into a viral video waiting to happen. They leave quickly, Derek trying to maintain his dignity while covered in horse manure and confetti. Jessica follows, shooting me a look that could melt steel. Nice work, Barn. Just a happy accident, boss. By evening, the video's all over social media. Qley posted it with the caption, "When life gives you confetti cannons," and it's been shared hundreds of times. Derek Duval, the town's self-appointed alpha male, getting knocked into horse crap by a parade cannon. My phone rings. It's Jessica. I know you did this. Did what? Don't play dumb, Eddie. The cannon, Derek, all of it. Jess, I was 20 feet away when it happened. Ask anyone. This is maltreatment. No, this is karma. But I understand the confusion. Derek wants to press charges. For what? Getting hit by confetti? Good luck with that. She hangs up. 5 minutes later, Derek calls. You think you're clever, don't you? I think I'm a construction worker who volunteers at community events. Beyond that, I try not to overthink things. This isn't over. I certainly hope not. The entertainment value alone is worth the price of admission. He hangs up too. I pour myself a beer and scroll through the comments on Qley's video. The town's having a field day with Derek's humiliation. Someone's already made it into a GIF. But this is just the opening act. Derek's embarrassed, but he's not broken. That's going to take more work. Fortunately, I'm very good at my work. Derek's response comes 3 days later. I arrive at the construction site to find my truck tires slashed, "Loser," spray painted across the side of my trailer, and a note tucked under the windshield's wiper. Back off or it gets worse. Barney whistles low. Guy's got a temper. Guy's got no imagination. Vandalism? That's the best he can do? What's the play, boss? First, we call the cops. Get this documented. Then we check the security cameras. The cameras I installed last month after a rash of equipment thefts in the area. The ones Derek doesn't know about, hidden in the trees around the perimeter. Officer Mike Brennan shows up 20 minutes later. Mike and I went to high school together. He was the star quarterback. I was the guy who built the sets for Drama Club. We've maintained a polite rivalry ever since. Looks like someone doesn't like you much, Eddie. Can't imagine why. Mike takes pictures, writes up a report, asks the usual questions. I don't mention Derek by name, but I make sure to tell him about the threatening note. Any idea who might have done this? Could be anyone. You know how it is. Construction sites attract troublemakers. After Mike leaves, Barney and I review the security footage. There's Derek, clear as day, creeping around at 2 a.m. with a can of spray paint and a knife. His face is perfectly visible when he looks up at what he thinks is just a tree branch. Got him, Barney says. We got him committing a misdemeanor. That's not enough. What do you mean? Derek's playing checkers, vandalism, intimidation, caveman stuff. But I'm playing chess. We need him to make a bigger mistake. How do we do that? We make him angrier. That evening, I drive over to Derek's lake house. His truck's in the driveway, lights on in the living room. I park across the street and wait. At 9:30, Jessica's Honda pulls up. She gets out, checks her hair in the side mirror, and walks to the front door like she's been doing this for months. Which, of course, she has. I give them an hour, then I make my move. Derek's truck is a thing of beauty. Black paint job, chrome details, probably cost more than I make in 6 months. It's his pride and joy, his mechanical Johnson extension. I don't damage it. That would be too obvious, too crude. Instead, I leave a note under the windshield wiper. Nice truck, shame if something happened to it. A concerned neighbor. Then I go home and wait. The call comes at midnight. You son of a witch. Derek, it's awful late for social calls. You were here at my house. Was I when? Don't play games with me. I'm not playing anything. I'm in bed trying to sleep. Unlike some people, I have to work in the morning. Stay away from my property. Your property? I thought you were renting. The line goes quiet for a moment. Just stay away. Derek, are you feeling all right? You sound paranoid. He hangs up. I smile in the darkness. The next morning, Mike Brennan calls. Eddie, we got a complaint about you last night. Guy says you were trespassing, making threats. That's interesting. What guy? Derek Duvall. Says you left a threatening note on his truck. Derek Duvall. Isn't he the fellow who was dating Linda Patterson while she was married to Tom? Before he moved on to my wife? Mike's quiet for a moment. Small towns don't have many secrets. Eddie, Mike, I was home all evening. My neighbor, Mrs. Keene, saw me taking out the trash at 10 o'clock. You can ask her. I will. And Mike, you might want to check if Mr. Duvall has any connection to the vandalism at my construction site. Just a thought. After I hang up, I call Mrs. Keene. Mrs. Keene, it's Eddie. I need a small favor. By afternoon, Derek's paranoia is in full bloom. He calls the police twice more, claiming he's being stalked. But there's no evidence, no proof, just the word of a man who's starting to sound unhinged. The beauty of psychological warfare is that the victim does most of the work for you. Derek's so focused on me that he's not thinking clearly. He's making mistakes, burning bridges, alienating the very people who might otherwise support him. At the bar that night, the conversation's all about Derek's meltdown. Guy came in here ranting about maltreatment, the bartender tells anyone who'll listen. Wanted me to ban Eddie from the premises. I told him this is America. You don't get to decide who drinks where. What's his problem anyway? Someone asks. Guilty conscience, probably. You mess with another man's wife, you start seeing enemies everywhere. The crowd murmurs agreement. Public opinion's shifting, and Derek doesn't even realize it. But I'm not done yet. Not even close. Because Derek made one crucial mistake when he vandalized my property. He showed me he's willing to break the law when he's angry. Now I just need to make him angry enough to break bigger laws. The town's annual Founders Day celebration is held at the Union Hall, a cavernous space that doubles as our community center for everything from wedding receptions to political rallies. Tonight, it's packed with half the town, everyone dressed in their Friday best and ready to celebrate our little slice of Maine. I organized this event, sent out the invitations, arranged for the projector and sound system, even hired a DJ. As far as anyone knows, it's just Eddie Malloy throwing a party to boost community spirit. Jessica's here, of course. She couldn't stay away, too worried about what people might think if she didn't show. She's wearing a blue dress I bought her for our anniversary 2 years ago, back when I still thought we were happy. Derek's beside her in a suit that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage payment. Qley's working the room with her phone, documenting everything for posterity. Barney's by the bar, nursing a beer and keeping an eye on the exits. Mrs. Keene's holding court near the dessert table, dispensing gossip like a pharmacist fills prescriptions. At 8 o'clock, I take the microphone. Evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. The crowd quiets down, faces turning toward me expectantly. I know some of you have been wondering why I organized this little get-together. Truth is, I wanted to share something with all of you. Something important. Jessica's face goes pale. She knows me well enough to recognize the tone in my voice. See, recently I discovered that my wife Jessica has been having an affair with Derek Duval. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Phones come out, cameras start rolling. This is the kind of small-town drama that'll be talked about for years. Now I know what you're thinking. Why air dirty laundry in public? Why not handle this privately, like civilized people? Derek starts moving toward me, but Barney steps into his path, shaking his head slightly. The thing is, Derek here has some very interesting opinions about married women, about gratitude and education, and what happens when husbands don't appreciate what they've got. I nod to Barney, who's manning the projector. The lights dim, and Derek's voice fills the hall, crystal clear through the sound system. The thing about married women is they appreciate a real man, someone who knows how to take charge, you know? These suburban husbands, they get soft. Stop appreciating what they've got. The crowd turns to stare at Derek, who's standing frozen in the middle of the room. Like this one I'm seeing now, married to some construction worker. Nice enough guy, I'm sure, but no fire, no passion. She tells me he hasn't touched her in months. Jessica covers her face with her hands. Qley's phone is trained on her, capturing every moment of her humiliation. "What's her name?" comes the blonde's voice from the recording. "Jessica. Beautiful woman. Works in HR. Way too good for the life she's living." The audio continues, Derek's voice describing my wife like she's a conquest, a training exercise, something to be used and discarded. The crowd's getting restless, murmurs of disapproval growing louder. "But here's the really interesting part," I say, pausing the playback. "Derek's got a pattern. Linda Patterson, Sarah Williams, Janet Foster, all married women, all seduced and abandoned when he got bored." I nod to Barney again. The projector switches to a slideshow. Photos of Derek with various married women around town, text messages, hotel receipts. Months of investigation laid out for everyone to see. Derek Duval isn't some romantic hero rescuing unhappy wives. He's a predator who targets vulnerable women and destroys families for sport. Derek finally finds his voice. "This is slander. You can't what? Tell the truth? Play recordings of things you actually said? You recorded me illegally. Actually, Maine's a one-party consent state. As long as one person in the conversation knows it's being recorded and it's perfectly legal. I looked it up." The crowd's turning ugly now. These are working-class people, folks who understand the value of marriage and family. They don't appreciate homewreckers, especially ones who brag about it. "You son of a witch," Derek snarls, pushing through the crowd toward me. "Language, Derek. There are children present." He takes a swing at me, but this time I'm ready. I duck under his fist and let him stumble past me, off balance and looking foolish. "Assault!" Someone shouts. "He assaulted Eddie!" Mike Brennan, who's been watching from the back of the room, starts moving forward. "Derek Duval, you're under arrest for assault." "This is BS. He set me up." "Maybe so, but you still threw the punch." As Mike cuffs Derek, I turn to Jessica. She's crying, mascara running down her cheeks, the center of attention in the worst possible way. "Jess, you want to say anything? Explain your side of things?" She shakes her head, unable to speak. "That's okay. I think everyone gets the picture." The crowd's buzzing with excitement, phones recording everything, the story already spreading beyond the walls of the Union Hall. By morning, it'll be all over social media. By next week, it'll be legend. Derek's shouting threats as Mike leads him away, but nobody's listening. He's finished in this town. His reputation destroyed as thoroughly as he destroyed my marriage. Jessica follows them out, probably to bail him out or find a lawyer or figure out what comes next. I don't really care anymore. Qley approaches me as the crowd starts to disperse. "Eddie, that was... wow. Just wanted everyone to know the truth. Are you okay? I mean, with Jessica and everything?" "I'm fine, Qley. Better than I've been in months." And I am. For the first time since this whole mess started, I feel like myself again. Not the betrayed husband, not the dumb construction worker, not the man who wasn't good enough to keep his wife happy. Just Eddie Malloy, the guy who built something beautiful out of the wreckage of his marriage. Barney walks over, grinning like a wolf. Hell of a show, boss. Think it'll stick? Derek's done in this town, and probably the next 3 towns over once word spreads. And Jessica? She made her choice. Now she gets to live with the consequences. I look around the union hall at the faces of my neighbors and friends, at the community I've been part of for 18 years. These are good people, honest people, and they know the difference between right and wrong. Derek thought he could waltz into our town, break up marriages, and move on without consequences. He thought wrong. Jessica thought she could trade up, leave her blue-collar husband for something better, and keep her reputation intact. She thought wrong too. But me? I knew exactly what I was doing from the moment I found that first text message. I built a trap so perfect, so complete that they destroyed themselves trying to escape it. The good guy finally stopped playing nice, and it felt better than I ever imagined it would.